Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to you. First of all, happy new month. It's December. It's time to party. I don't know why I'm dancing, but it's December. Today is the first day of the last month of the year, and we are just so grateful to God that we can see today. We can see this month. I'm sure if you look back at the beginning of the year, or maybe in the middle of the year, you probably didn't think that you'll make it this far. But look at it. We are in the last month of the year, and we're so privileged, to be alive, to be witnessing not just today but this month, the last month of the year 2025. You are tuned into Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. My name is Fumi Bangala, and I have my co-host here.
My name is Tomu Okewale Shonaya. Good morning. Good morning. Even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't feel good, you still have to act good. So good morning. Good morning. Grateful to be here in the last month of the year. Grateful.
Yes, very, 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 very grateful. On Friday, we had our Reporter Awards, and we had such a swell time. I had a swell time. I know those I didn't know. We had such a swell time on Friday. We started off with the training, and the training was such a great training. It was for men, but some of us women were there, and our table was the popping table because we were just listening to the men say things and we're reacting to what they were saying. But it was really, really insightful, impactful, and one of the things that I'm hoping is that the men who came for the training, basically the aim of the training was to tell men that, look, we need to put women at the forefront of reportage in any form, whether in print, digital, on air. We have to put women at the forefront. And it was interesting to see, Tone, that a lot of men, didn't even know about the special seats bill for women. That was very, very eye-opening. That even with the work that we're doing, always talking about it, it's interesting that our male colleagues don't even know that this is going on. So it was a step in the right direction, telling men that, look, all hands need to be on deck to be able to promote everything with regards reporting, putting it at the forefront. And I think one of the things that stayed with me was not reporting with sentiment or bias. That whenever you're reporting anything that has to do with women, you're not making the woman to be you're not shaming the woman, basically, when you're reporting. And then we had the awards afterward, and the awards was really, really lovely. We danced. The room was really full. We had colleagues, journalists, broadcasters across the nation that came. It was so splendid, right? Wouldn't you say, Tom?
I just wanted to say that, like you mentioned, it was a bit shocking that our colleagues in the media, men who are editors and publishers and senior executives, majority of them didn't know about the special seats bill. But for me, the fact that they didn't know and we were able to impact and inform
Absolutely.
and educate them,
Yeah.
for me, that was an achievement on our part. And like you said, when they're reporting women to report with purpose and impact. And I think we definitely achieved that. We had all the media you could think of, from print, electronic, digital. It was mind-blowing. And for me, I know that from today, let me just say from Friday, we're going to see a lot of purpose and impact in the way our colleagues in the media report women. The bit for me, the highlight for me, was, apart from the training of male editors and media executives only, we chose to just, have a refresher course kind of for the men. The other highlight for me was the awards, the categories, the winners.
Oh, yeah.
When to see FRC and Federal Radio Corporation Nigeria, a news agency of Nigeria, clinch those awards with data to back up the fact that 6 months maternity leave, creche facilities, and for the woman to even come back and still have reduced work hours. It was indeed a working environment for women. And when you don't see this in black and white, you just assumed that they're not really doing what they're doing. So it was good to see the justification, and also for News Agency of Nigeria, the number of women that they have at the at decision making,
that's
and
what FRCN.
it
FRCN was
was
yeah.
it was, yes, I'm just talking about the two of them,
Yeah, yeah.
it's mind blowing. And to see BO News,
Yeah.
Bo News, a young girl, a young owner, a publisher who is I just Premium Times, we know, is one of the masters anyway. But it is fulfilling, and I'm hoping that other media can understand why these decisions were taken, and they can also work towards ensuring that for next year, they also clinch it. And I think we need to commend the judges.
Oh,
we need
yeah.
to commend the judges. Larry Arugundade, Ene, Ede, and Priscilla. I just give it to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, it was beautiful, and we're hoping that or that the subsequent awards and training we'll have would even be bigger and better. And then
Absolutely.
we see that when we do the next one, that there's been a great deal of change in media for women. So yes, let's get into today's today's headline. Yes, please. So we're going to start with the Punch newspaper, which says crude for loans, NNPCL battles 8.7 trillion outstanding debt. We also have federal government, ASU, enter talks on 40% pay rise.
The Guardian of today says you can kill 10 million people and it still won't amount to genocide. And that is Bishop Kuka. And also gunmen kidnap baby, bridesmaid, 11 others in Sokoto.
In the This Day newspaper, we have Tinubu's ambassadorial nominations. Mere political sentiment, ADC declares. Article, Tinubu's 17.5 trillion naira spent on pipeline security, more than 12 years of fuel subsidy.
In the Daily Trust of today, we have presidency rejects calls to subcontract internal security to foreign governments. And Kogi advises relocation of worship centers after fresh church invasion. And lastly, in the Daily Trust, article falls, federal government 17.5 trillion naira pipeline security spending.
Okay. In the Vanguard newspaper, we have insecurity, bandits unleash terror in Kogi State, Kano, Sokoto, and Kwara states. We also have Niger kidnappings. Church confirms 4 children of catechist among victims.
The Premium Times reports FRCS, that's a Federal Road Safety Corporation, confirms 6 dead in Oka, Onitsha expressway crash. And also in the Premium Times, insecurity, bandits dislodged from neighboring states, now operating in Kano, according to Deputy Senate President.
In the Nation newspaper, we have it's now total war on terrorists. We also have how to halt escalating insecurity, build nationhood by Bakare.
The Cable says Atiku to federal government explained 17.5 trillion naira expenditure on oil pipeline security in 2024. Hakim Baba Ahmed, Tinubu shouldn't seek re-election. He has lost the hunger to fix Nigeria. And Daniel Bwala, in coming days, will know the terrorist and the financiers and their financiers.
In the Daily Post, we have Atiku slams Nigerian government over 17.5 trillion naira pipeline security spending. Then in the next one is Kogi State, bandits abduct pastor, wife, other worshippers.
In the Tribune newspapers, Obasanjo presidency replies Obasanjo, terrorism incubated under your watch. That's a presidency to Obasanjo. And Bishop Kuka insists there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria, and he gives reasons.
Finally, in the national dailies this morning, we have from the pen pushing newspaper, the former president Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, says, I suspect President Embalo as sponsor of military coup in Guinea-Bissau. Those are the headlines for this morning. I mean, there is more, but you can do well to get you a copy. You can go and read more on them. But right now, we're going to slide into the headlines, tackling the headlines that caught our eye this morning. But before we do that, let's welcome our in-house analyst. Hi, Emmanuel. Good morning.
Hi, Fumi. Good morning and happy new month. Welcome
Happy New Month to you too.
December. And well, good to see Tom. I think it's been long. My path and Tom crossed on this platform. Good to see. I think it's a December gift coming from Tom being on this platform this morning.
So thank you, Emmanuel. It's really good to see you on this platform. I know we see regularly and we talk regularly behind the platforms, but it's good to have you here, and we're looking forward to your analysis. I know you're not expecting anything from me. It's me expecting something from you. Because what we said is that the men need to report us more. You need to do everything. So you need to do everything to ensure we're reported more. So I am also hoping to be reported, positively through gifts as well from my colleagues.
Yeah, definitely. We'll chart a new course and ensure that the media, which is the fourth estate of the realm, also is the conscience for Nigerian women by putting out news and also by shining the spotlight on Nigerian women to ensure that there is balanced reportage, because that is very, very important. And both sides of the story of Nigerian woman is told not from the victim aspect, but from the hero aspect. And I think this is one thing that media editors and executives should look towards. We are doing it already, but we have to intensify effort to ensure that we convince, because they need to be convinced, and they also need to be trained, which was what was done last week Friday, and to put out positive stories about Nigerian women who are doing great. We have a lot of them out there, but the spotlight is not on them, and I think this should be a challenge to each and every one of us in the media space to have this balanced reportage.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. But you also rocked. You did a fantastic job on Friday. You held everything together for me and yourself. I give it to you. So if anybody is looking for,
thank you very much,
master of ceremonies, I call them directors of ceremonies, to make your event worth the while. Emmanuel, Olonade, Fumi, Mangbala. 100% endorsement from me. You made the event.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. We've been endorsed. So yes, thanks to me holding my microphone. All right, let's get into it. In the spirit of journalism, this caught my eye. If it's anything that Premium Times does, and that's one of the reasons why they won the award on Friday, is that they always go above and beyond in bringing accurate news. And this one really caught my eye, because this is really our Premium Times. Governor Bago targets journalists for reporting insecurity in Niger State. I think I read this article more than once, because I was like, I needed to understand what exactly was going on. But to just give an overview, the journalists in Niger State have been reporting the insecurity in the state, and one of the reporters, a freelance journalist, had asked the governor what the state was doing to rescue a certain Mr. Dada from the bandits. So this Mr. Dada is a retired civil servant who had been kidnapped alongside his wife by bandits in Mina, Niger State. And the bandits, who initially demanded 10 million, raised the ransom to 100 million after Mr. Dada's two other wives sold their home and their property to raise the initial amount. So this journalist, he goes by the name Ibrahim Ndamitso, had asked that, governor of the state, what's the plan to get this person released? And the governor was angered by his question, accusing him of working with the bandits. He didn't just saying that he wouldn't have known about the kidnapping if he wasn't working with the bandits. But then many national newspapers have reported this story. So, and then the governor is claiming that he was unaware of the kidnapping, then asked the commissioner of police to take the journalist into custody and profile him. And then this is where it gets really, really interesting. At the police headquarters, they asked for his details. He said he gave them everything because it's not like he has anything to hide. He has the legitimate means of earning a living. He's never been involved in a crime. But then the governor then asked the commissioner of police to bring him to his office, but they were in the lobby. There, he said quite a few things that he said. He said he hated him and used some words that were threatening, right? And said he was reckless for asking him about security, and said other things that I was appalled at, if I'm going to be quite frank with this. And Mr. Ndamisi says, well, he asked the hard questions because he believes that that's the way to ensure accountability in governance. He's always been like that. So right about now, he's been denied access to the state government secretariat, even though he's an accredited correspondent at the government house. When I read this, I was like, please, what's going on? Because isn't it the job of journalists, that's our job, to ask questions in this kind of situation? Emmanuel, what are your thoughts on this? Because I found this
become everyday life for us in Nigeria. Before, it was operating in pockets, but when insecurity was in pockets, we failed to report it the way it was, and now it is now part of our everyday life, that you can't wake up one morning and not see kidnapping, bandit attack, and all. So we got to this stage based on lack of accountability by our leaders, and I think it should be called to question. But before I proceed, let me thank the NUJ Emina for always trying to rise up to the occasion and protect their journalists. But it's not only the work of NUJ, because see, when you fight against states, the state has resources to deal with you. And this is why you see that most people are careful in their reportage. What the governor has said, I just laugh, because if he's saying he's not aware of insecurity in his own state, then I ask, why are you now the chief security officer of the state? Are you not getting reports? If he's not aware of insecurity in his own state, does he not know that the member representing Bago constituency, Federal House of Representatives, was even attacked in his own constituency when he went there? If he says he's not aware of insecurity in his own state, how about the children that were kidnapped the other day that we are still looking for? About of accountability and the suppression of the media has brought us to where we are. And the few media speaking the truth are either on the wrong side of those in power, or those in power are trying to buy them. This is why it is very hard to find balanced reportage of events. And see, Niger State, when you are sincere with what you are going through, you get solution to it. You can't be sick and go to the hospital, and then when you have appendix, you are telling the doctor you have headache. You have to be sincere with the symptoms you are feeling for them to be able to treat you. We've not been sincere with our symptoms, which is insecurity in Nigeria, and this is why it is hard for us to find treatment to it. Look at the headlines you took this morning. Kogi State, Kwara State, Niger State, Kano State, Sokoto State, bride to be was abducted. See, and then these are the things you get. It's now a daily occurrence. But when people who are bold enough to see, why I try not to be a reporter is the fact that I don't know how to sit and not ask questions. Let me give you a brief example. I went to cover an event some years back between two communities having a clash, and the Supreme Court has ruled that the smaller community owns the land. The judgment was, I think, in 1980 something. The judgment was secured by Afe Babalola. But based on the big nature of the other community and always having influential people, they wanted the land to themselves, and the clash erupted again. The state government sent a delegation to these communities, and I was to cover it. And I asked a simple question. I can't forget that. I asked a simple question. I said, why is the state government afraid to take a decision and implement the ruling of the Supreme Court? Do you know, before I got back to the office, my guys were calling me, Emmanuel, what did you do? Emmanuel, what did you do? The CPS to the governor called my organ and was telling them that they need to step down that report. That when they asked the question, they were not able to answer it. So this is lack of accountability that our leaders don't want. Our leaders are not trained to give account of whatever it is they are doing. They don't see leadership as service.
Mm.
They see leadership as the ultimate. They see leadership as control, as power. But in democracy and leadership, power doesn't even belong to the leader. Power belongs to the people. That's why the leaders are able to influence the people to do things, because the people has power. But the Nigerian political class have not understood this fact that power is to the people. And when you give the people power, you yourself, you become powerful, because the result of the people doing the right thing, fighting for you, taking care of their community, makes you a good leader, because people will see that you are doing your job, but meanwhile, it is the people that are doing the job for you. But they fail to understand that. They want absolute, and absolute power corrupts. Go and look at leaders in the world that had absolute power. Their empire came crumbling down. And that is why it is very hard for Nigerian leaders who held onto absolute power while they were in office to be relevant after they leave office. That's why most of them struggle to remain in one position or the other, because they've tasted absolute power, and without that absolute power, they are nothing but mere men. And that is the result. If Governor Bago is not aware that there's insecurity in his state, schools are closed in Niger State. Schools, primary school, secondary school, they are closed. Children are at home. You should know that. And working towards sustainable development goal. Education is part of it. Gender equality is part of it. So, which of the goal is the state achieving under SDG? He should have given a sincere answer to the journalist. This is why I called that. This is why I said they need, what is it called? Media orientation. I was part of the school of thought that do say that, see, when they tell me that women politicians don't have media orientation, I tell them that no, male politicians themselves don't have media orientation. That's why they go to TV stations, they go to media houses with their essay, and they speak rubbish. Diplomatic answer: the state government is working towards ensuring that not only Mr. Dada, but others who are kidnapped are being rescued, and that we don't have this kind of issues in our state again. Simple, and then you go.
Yeah.
And then you tell your commissioner of police, get the job done. But instead, you feel a journalist hates you. A journalist is not meant to be your friend. He's meant to ask questions, because he's the conscience of the society. That's why they call them the fourth member of the realm, the fourth estate of the realm. Does he know what the realm means? The realm is spiritual. And when you go to the realm, you have to ask questions. It's no longer physical, it's spiritual in the realm. And that when they say journalists are very important, media is fourth estate of the realm. They are the conscience of the three other realms. That is executive, legislative, and the judiciary. They ask the question. They ensure that the society is balanced based on their correct reportage of events. But I don't blame him, because see, some journalists who we feel are top journalists have sold their soul to these politicians. And then instead of doing the right thing and encouraging the younger ones, you see them and then you are perplexed, you are astonished. A journalist once said on live TV, live broadcast, that I swear to God Almighty that someone won the election. A journalist, senior journalist that people look up to, saying, I swear to Almighty God that this person won an election. I'm like, if you cannot even separate your affiliation to this person for the sake of others and for the sake of posterity, just keep quiet and don't talk. You came on air to swear that someone won an election, a journalist. Journalism is with data, is with facts, is with reporting the truth. What we are seeing in Niger State is not only in Niger State. We've had journalists being victimized. We've had journalists lose their life based on them trying to report the truth. So these are the things we see. And I want to commend Premium Times, because see, this person in question is not a journalist that works with Premium Times. But as Yoruba says, is he or something like that. The fact that, see, what is happening in the world will happen in Ede if it is not stopped. It is that journalist today, it might be someone close to you tomorrow, or it might be you asking an innocent question tomorrow at a press briefing, and then they will feel like you've offended powers that be. This is why we need to speak about it, and this is why I am happy that Premium Times have taken this up to even bring it out to our notice that, see, this is happening. This is what is happening. The same state that primary school children, have you seen the ages of those children that were kidnapped? 6, 4 were kidnapped. The trauma that those kids will live with for life. And this is the same state that they are saying. So you see, it's not hatred. When people tell you the truth about yourself, it's not hatred. The truth. See, someone that likes you will tell you the truth. It's people that don't like you that will hail you even though you are going into the fire.
Emmanuel,
and that is
Emmanuel, can I just say that I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate, right?
Okay.
And this is because when I served many years ago with the Ministry of Information in Oyo State, as a youth corper, my job was to cut press cuttings.
Okay.
The state. Oh, the governor won this borehole, and the commissioner went to do this. The governor went to do that. Everything positive. That's the brief I was given. That's my job as a youth corper. So I wake up very early, pick up newspapers, get into the office, do the cuttings, paste them on a file. You know those paper files. Paste them on the file, and I put it. I present it to the commissioner. I put it in his office before he gets into the office, and the commissioner gets to the office of information. Gets in, I think around 8:30. The man is already there. So I have to get all those cuttings, put it in a folder, put it on his desk. And everything I cut, positive, right? And then I also presented a program on TV, on NTA and on BCOS, Spotlight and Insight. And everything we talk about, I think in about 30 minutes, oh, the commissioner did this, the government did this, positive. Could it be that, and that's just a commissioner, right? Well, that's a commissioner, not just, but that's a commissioner from a lower level. Could it be that the governor truly doesn't know what is happening in the state? Could it be? Because sometimes I think they're disconnected from the people. Could it be that he genuinely did not think? Could it be? I'm just advocating.
Well, it's a valid question that could, if indeed it were to be true that he wasn't aware of insecurity in his state, that is a failure on his part. Because they have the brown paper, they have the white paper that comes from the head of security agency to them. And they also see, for me on this platform, I've questioned the appointment of special advisors that I call them praise singers. The special advisors most times are meant to give you advice, to tell you the situation of things. But because most of these people, see, the failure of some of our leaders are also the appointment they've made. For you to be successful, the appointments you make will determine whether you are a success or not. The failure of them most times has been the fact that they've appointed the wrong people who are only after stomach infrastructure. And see, when you surround yourself with people who are after stomach infrastructure, they can never tell you the truth because that is where their stomach is being filled up. The governor might not be aware of some little incidents like kidnapping and all, but he would be aware of the larger incidents, which are the mass kidnapping, the attack by bandits in communities. Because if he's not aware, it's a slap on the state executive council that makes all the decision. They call them state escos, that makes all the decision in the state and gets security reports. And that was why I said that the governor could have given a diplomatic yet mature answer that they are looking into it and trying to stop. You pick the man and then you generalize. This is what we teach people in media. You pick the man, you generalize your situation and tell them that you are on top of it. But based on the fact that accountability is lacking in our society, and when people are in power, they feel they can do and undo. Governor Bago is not the only governor that has been accused of this. There was this guy, is it Dandaita or what's his name, in Kaduna, that up to today we don't know his whereabouts. His wife and kids are left there. Since Malam Nasir El-Rufai was governor of Kaduna State, that was when the guy went and he never returned. So it could be that some minor incident is not aware, because unless maybe the kidnapping is in mass, they might not report to the governor. The police and the family will be dealing with it. He might not know. But if it is big incidents like attacks on community, I'm very sure the governor will be aware. But minor incidents like this might not be aware. But even if he's not aware, he should act as chief security officer. See, the primary responsibility of the government is security and welfare of the citizen. That is what the constitution. If Fumi gets into office today, our primary responsibility is security and welfare of the citizen. Those are the primary responsibility. And welfare comes with education, healthcare, good roads, access to water, access to life, and all. So those are the primary responsibility of the government. So when a citizen under your domain, under your jurisdiction, or citizens or community in clusters are not enjoying these dividends, then they are not in a democratic setting, because what ought to be your responsibility to them is not being fulfilled. And that is very hard. So if the governor is not aware, because I keep saying this, and Fumi knows that I come out on special advisors because I see them as praise singers. And don't forget, in the olden days, if you want to go to war and the praise singers even know that you will lose the battle, they will keep hailing the king and telling him that he is the best thing after Semo, that Semo is not better than him. And the king, and you will go into that battle and you will lose the battle. That's why I keep saying most of the undoing of our political leaders are those who they've appointed, who speaks on their behalf, and they don't know the truth. And then next thing you hear, like one of our former leaders will say is, I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
Emmanuel, let's just quickly interrupt. I'm sure we can come back to this. It's 4 minutes after 8. This is a newspaper review on Your Women Radio. For me, do we need to give out the telephone numbers?
Yes, please. The numbers.
Callings. Yeah.
Yes, please. The numbers to call 07000 917 917 or 9155 917 917. You can also call our toll-free line 0800 1235 917. You can text or WhatsApp us on 08155 917 917 or 0703 1756 537. We are live on YouTube at WFM 917. You can listen to us on the go via our website www.wfm917.com. Yes, so we're going to open for people to call in.
Okay, please feel free to call. We know that you have a lot of things on your mind. You want to unburden things on radio. We're happy for you to do that, but please, let's be civil. Please, let's be civil. Thank you. So next, can I take the next news for me?
Let's take these messages before we go to the next one. Okay, this is Olusoga Ajayi from Odonlai Korodo says, it's hard not to wonder what direction the country is heading. When names like Rena Omokri, Okeze Ikpeazu, Femi Fani-Kayode, and even Professor Mahmoud Yakubu appear on the same roster, it speaks louder than any press statement. Leadership choices ripple downward. When the head falters, the rest of the body can't help but feel it. Thank you so much for your message. Prince says, also on the ambassadorial list, he said it rewards criminality, misdeeds, political incompetence, and the reinforcement of national disgrace, manifestation of consciencelessness and visionless tales in reality. Kogi, my own state, has become an explorative ground for bandits. Why corruption continues as a right. Bishop Kuka may no, Prince, I'm not going to read that. Prince was is also asking, why is Portable and Asari Dokuba not on the Tinubu ambassadorial list? Mr. Emmanuel, the word accountability and responsibility is beyond those guys who were never elected on the demands of the people outside food infrastructure, stomach infrastructure. Lastly, we have Mayor from Ikotun says, beautiful morning to you all in the studio and happy new month to you. Same to you. Don't seek re-election, Baba Ahmed, to Tinubu. That is very good advice from Dati, but will master strategists accept that? If the family of Mr. President, they should tell him not to further disgrace himself by seeking re-elections, because the Tinubu has brought so much shame to the entire nation. Because what is he going to tell Nigerians in 2027? I really appreciate Mr. Peter Obi, the way he spoke to ECOWAS. ECOWAS is part of Africa's problems, just like the peace committee we have in Nigeria, led by Reverend Matthew Kuka, that can't make any strong statements concerning what we witnessed in the 2023 general elections. Such bodies are not useful to the society. The only thing I remember well is that Tinubu and his followers have continued to do well in propaganda, deceit, and lies. Hello, good morning, Evangelist Dixon. How are you this morning?
I'm fine.
Happy new month to you. Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel. Pro-Nigeria, Adeto. I am a pro-Nigeria. Good morning, Madam. God bless you all. I love this country. I've had in every day open newspaper, but I don't so much visit the newspaper. I'm addicted to the Bible. I'm not moved by everything happening. I believe as a child of God, when it is my time, it's to go. I go, but if it's not my time, nobody can save my life. See, on all these things that's happening, we need to look at. I'm in my seminar and listen to accountability. It's Nigerian thing, corruption, we don't love one another. We don't love our country, and that's some of the people are calling America. As America finish solving their own problem, they come in and they not. Have they finished solving their problems? You know, when they go to here, some part of Ikoyi, a black man cannot get there. You know, they love us. If they love us, let them give us ammunition, please. Give us money to settle our debt so we can move on. Over our country. Anybody saying that, I control whenever I'm on radio here, I always like that. I don't like to move by, all these things. That's right. But I know whatever I say, I will give account to God. I know many people are listening. As I did think is more deceivable. See, this insecurity, I told you last time that it will continue because the northern people are not cooperating. See, anything I see, last time before, when you can see when this insecurity was much, was during the time of Jonathan. Now, the North don't want the power to get to the South. It's not because of the rotational distance, the power will not get to us. They said they are born to rule. That's what happened during Jonathan. And now, none of us are not saying because we hate Tinubu. It's not easy to be a leader. Even in your own family, place of, let's say, your locality or state or local government, place of federal government. And that's why we say we pray for them. And that's why I wake up and pray for my leader and pray for my nation that we get there one day. The state do not cooperate. See, police can't be everywhere. We should praise our security men. I'm a retired security officer. When you are sleeping, they are in the sun, in the rain. How much are they being paid? See where they put their license. And people will come here and say, police are corrupt. No, that does not justify corruption. Because all the time I was there, even when I'm going out, I remove my uniform, I pay the conductor. Because when I'm on uniform, conductor don't always ask me money. Always pay because I know I'm being paid salary. So we don't have conscience. If they don't want this insecurity, it will stop. But as long as they are romancing with these people are living with them. And they don't want to. If they want it to stop, it will stop. But without their cooperation, it's not going to stop. Look at Atiku, about power. They're not talking about the insecurity with this man that thinks he should not sit in the election. The insecurity does not concern them. Have you ever seen when they come and say, let us stand, let us do this? Have you all this power? And we in the time we cannot reason and think. Well, let us keep on. When I talk now, somebody say, I'm from Tinubu, I'm Tinubu this, I'm Tinubu. I need to say the right thing. But whatever I say now, we give account on like this. It's not just a bigger. Let us always live. I know we get it. If we all in Nigeria can do the right thing in the fear of God, That new Nigeria was because many of us contribute to the destruction of this country. Because how many of us are doing that? How many of us are integrity? God is watching us for. It's a matter of time. At a point where what that the judgment. Let us always be right. One day they don't move. First love ourselves. Love one another. No ego, no other, no answer, no Muslim, no Christian. And I told you how we are created from Christian according to the Bible. And that's where I stand. I cannot tell every Igbo is black, every Yoruba or Muslim. No, we are good and bad. Where do you belong to? God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Nigeria will be blessed again by God's grace. Thank you all, and good morning.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon. Before Tone takes the next headline, Emmanuel, in a minute or two, I'd like you to react to the ambassadorial list.
I was just going to say that.
Okay, please go ahead. So
No, you said it. I was just going to ask that it would be good to have his comment on the ambassadorial list. Yeah.
Do you know one thing I've run away from since they released that list is speaking about that list? Because see, we can't wait for 2 years and suffer all these diplomatic issues with foreign countries. But I spoke about it, our insincerity. No ambassador in the US, no ambassador in the UK, no ambassador in China, no ambassador in Russia. These are people that sit on the Security Council of the UN. These are people that make decisions. These are your voice. When Trump was threatening us, before Trump threatened us, you will have summoned your ambassador, have a conversation with your ambassador, send your ambassador to your president. But no ambassador, nothing. And then we released the list. I saw some people on that list and I asked, what has been their contribution locally? They are taking them to the international level. People that ruled for 8 years in some instance, people that held position and have not performed. See, diplomacy is different from propaganda. And you can't be sending people who have B2 in propaganda as ambassadors to country where there should be diplomacy. And then you expect them to succeed. See, ambassadorial list is not a reward for political loyalty. It is the future of your country. And I've seen people when I was growing up, they call them ambassador. And when we see them, we want to be like them.
Oh, we have a call.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
We can hear you.
Good morning, good morning, my dear. This is Paul.
Good morning, Paul. How are you? Good morning. Happy New Month to you.
Fine. Thank you very much.
Please
Good
go ahead.
morning, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good morning.
I love that gentleman. I'm just praying that one day we'll hear his name somewhere in this country. I like the way his views and his uprightness in every topic that he speaks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Now, another bandit attack in a church. It could be said. The pastor and the wife and some. The report that we have is some members. We don't even know the numbers of members. But I know maybe before the week, maybe before the day run out, the church will make inventory and they know the numbers. In fact, all over the country, a Jumat on Friday. You don't hear this type of news. Why church? And we say there's no Christian genocide. Well, God knows the best. When my prayer is for those to cut it, God should tell them to come out from it. It's a starting, very, very starting church again. Now, don't know the number of the people. Don't know the number. One of Niger, the children, 200 plus. Nobody's talking about it again. Kano, Sokoto. No, Christian, God will continue to help us. The only advice the government can give is that the church, the Christians of church and church to relocate their place of worship. You just singularly mention church. You will read the headline. I know maybe you are next analysis. You see the advice that they should relocate their places of worship. What of the Muslim? What of the mosque? What of the Juma? It's never mentioned. And we say there's no Christian genocide. Why should government give that kind of advice for Christians to relocate where they are worshiping? Have a good day. God will judge everything in his own time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
so let me just conclude my thought on the ambassadorial list. I think we could have done better. See, there are career diplomats in Nigeria. There are people who have based their life on international relations. There are people who could mediate peace. You need people of right standing to stand in your host country and make decisions and speak on your behalf and represent you. I'm not quite impressed with some names on that list, but I want to mention the names, and I think Nigerians know some of the names themselves because I don't want to put bias into it. But I feel like we could have done better. We didn't wait for 2 years to have this list. When we were waiting for 2 years and we withdrew our ambassadors and our high commissioners, I felt we were going to come up with a Christmas gift. But what was released wasn't a Christmas gift at all. In fact, Santa himself would not be happy with this list because I looked at it and I felt like Nigerian governments could have done better with this list. But don't let's write them off. Maybe locally they can perform. On the international stage, they might surprise us. But I'm not expecting anything unique from most of them, except for some of them that I know have done something useful and tangible while they held post in Nigeria. But for that list, 2 years waiting for this list, I'm disappointed.
It's 17 minutes after 8 on Women Radio, WFM 91.7. For me, what's next?
The next headline, please. You want to take that? Or do you still want me to take it?
I will take it.
Okay.
I will take it. And no, I'm not going to go back to the ambassadorial list. I'll take it. Press to that. So now to go into the Daily Trust. And this was following former President Olusegun Obasanjo's suggestion to invite foreign government to handle Nigeria's internal security. The presidency has insisted that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, remains committed to securing every inch of Nigeria by confronting terrorists with strength, with unity, and a whole of government approach. I'm not going to go to when Obasanjo was where he was, but he said that Nigeria is part of the world community. And if our government cannot do it, we have the right to call on the international community to do for us what our government cannot do for us. They are being killed, right? He said it's a responsibility of the government to do something about it. And apart from the government responding, there's been a lot of them. When it first emerged under his administration, they said that he couldn't do anything when it happened on the sovereignty of Nigeria. For me, for me, it is paramount, right? I'm not talking about anybody else. I am just talking about myself. The sovereignty of Nigeria is very paramount. And whoever wants to go and read up on what the sovereignty is, because I'm not going to go into details, can read up and translate it into whatever they want to say. But I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on Obasanjo's comments, the presidency's response, and what exactly, to break it down, what subcontract its internal security to foreign government is for people who may not understand what we're talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, a quick one. I think what Obasanjo is saying is what was done under Jonathan's regime briefly. If you remember 2015, prior to the election, Goodluck Jonathan shifted the election for a couple of weeks, saying that election must be held in all local governments in Nigeria. And that was 2015. Election was, I think, from January to like March. Based on that, he was able to get T-90 tanks. And though Jonathan called them technicians and trainers, some troops will tell you that they accompanied them to the war front. They were machineries, not state-owned machineries. In foreign countries, they have private military contractors who operate privately, independent of their host nation. So some of them then allegedly came into the country to fight during Jonathan's regime. And they said there are some statements that as head of former president, former leader, there are some statements that as head of former president, former leader, you are not allowed to say in public because you still have access to whosoever is in charge. So if you want things like this to happen, see, you mentioned sovereignty, and that is the supreme authority within your own territory of control and access, so that people will understand that. And the person that is guiding Nigeria's sovereignty today is Bola Ahmed, with the security briefing and is getting on one that will make that decision. But while making that decision, he must ensure, because he himself is bounded by law. He is the CNC, but it's also bounded by law, because the Constitution of Nigeria is supreme to all. No matter who you are, you have to abide within the Constitution. It's also bounded by law. So he has to sit with Security Council. They have to look at it and they have to make a decision. But while making the decision, they would ensure that Nigeria's sovereignty and Nigeria's territorial integrity is still very much intact. So for Obasanjo, I always feel like an elder statesman should be an elder statesman. If you feel that this would solve the problem, approach Tinubu with your own reasons why you feel it will work. And then they will also tell you why they feel it cannot work. And then you sit and see, for you to solve a problem in life, you must bring all sides together. Look at the pros and the cons, fight for money tonight, and then in that fight, in that back and forth, you see solution. Maybe the solution even lies with
Emmanuel, let me quote Dari. Dari said, before recommending surrender, and he's referencing Obasanjo, the former president should reflect on what he failed to do when terrorists first began organizing under his watch. He went further to say that this government will not be distracted by selective amnesia wrapped in elder statesmanship, nor will it allow those who midwife Nigeria's early security failures to rewrite histories. And he said, when former leaders criticize the nation's capacity, they hand psychological victories to terrorists who continue to murder, kidnap, and extort Nigeria.
Just mentioned that this thing pained him more than the phone call he made to Buhari when he lost as a sitting president. What did he do? He went to Tinubu, gave him a report, because Tinubu sits on the ECOWAS chairboard. Jonathan is not there. So he gave Tinubu his recommendation, the report, so that Tinubu can make an informed decision about what he perceived as an organized coup by someone losing election, not to give power to the opposition. Because he's pained, because he put in his sweat and blood as a leader, but he never divulged anything to us in public more than what we know. He went to Tinubu because Jonathan is no longer calling the shots. He went to the person calling the shots to advise him on what to do. If Tinubu takes the advice, if he doesn't take the advice, it's no longer his cup of tea. He has done. That's what we call elder statesman. We have statesmen, we have elder statesmen. Statesmen can be boys trying to be men. But elder statesmen are elders who, when they sit at the village square, they are trying to get solution to whatsoever is happening in the village, so that the gods will not be angry.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I think before we go, in conclusion, it's just that it's easy to point fingers and say this is what somebody is not doing when you're not on seat. So that's it. So as you go about this month, in the spirit of the end of the year, don't go about pointing fingers. They say, what's that? The pot again, at least for now, until she goes on her sojourn. You know, she's a global woman. And then, Emmanuel, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
As always, and happy new month to our Women Radio family. We wish you all the very best in the month of December. See you later.
I just quickly want to say for me that Nigeria's independence, autonomy, and self-governance are of utmost importance, and we should protect and respect it at all costs. Sovereignty of Nigeria is paramount. My name is Tom Okewalu Shinaya. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, bye. God bless.